Alright, let's be honest, everybody. Game of Thrones is just not as good as it used to be. Clearly, the main reason for this is because we haven't had a new book by George in 5 years. um, and the show is. I honestly thought season 6 was so slow. They barely got past book 5. Barely. Like, they only did a couple things that seemed like it was early book 6. Like, that's what it felt like to me. It's different than the books at this point. It's different enough so that it's hard to tell a little bit, like, because Stannis is gone. It's nowhere near kind of like the book 6 is going to start, but it still felt pretty slow to me. Season 5, everybody knows season 5 wasn't good. I mean, Dorne, as much as it sucks to say, was not good, and it's because George's two books that were spread out over the same time period, but there were different characters, so they used the different parts of the worlds for different books because there was so much to do because there were so many characters, and they cut out so many characters in Game of Thrones. I mean, really, like, that's why it wasn't good. There was no Quentin, and they didn't. I don't think they ever combined somebody with Quentin. There was no character like Quentin except for that one random slave master that got burned by the dragon, and that doesn't count. But yeah, I mean, there was no Quentin. We got no John Connington, even though it was basically Jorah was combined, and all of Robert's kids also, were just combined into Gendry. Genji? Oh my god, I've been playing Overwatch. I just don't know. Gendry. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, they combined a lot of characters, and they just cut out some. And I think that's really why season 5 wasn't that good, because I mean, the Sand Snakes were barely featured at all. I think they just kind of gave up on it, which is really, really lazy, in my opinion. I mean, how are they gonna? I mean, what are they gonna do if they completely cut the Sand Snakes? Then isn't that just pretty weird? How we're left off with them killing Marcella, and then nothing happens. There's nothing started. Nothing happened after that. Killing Doran, of course, which didn't happen in the books. They killed Dorne, and so what? So what's going on in Dorne now? We don't know. It's been a whole season. Season 7's going to start, and we're probably not going to get very much Dorne stuff, which is sad. And yeah, the plot is just not good anymore, guys. Just David and Dan are not very good writers. They wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is probably like one of the worst X-Men movies by most of the public, is what they think. I remember watching it, but I was a lot younger when it came out, and I thought it was good. But like I said, I was a lot younger. The Deadpool in that movie, of course, was really stupid. They made fun of that in the new Deadpool, and they wrote that movie. They wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine, which a lot of people don't like. And the first 3 seasons for sure were really good. I liked the first 3 seasons, and I thought it was really good what they did, replacing Roose with Tywin. I think Arya and Tywin's relationship was actually really good, and it was just a good thing that they did. And the writing was good. I can't really think of what else they've changed right now. I just can't really think. But, season 6, I mean, the main thing that I come to is Arya's plot. Arya's plot made me really sad, because it was right when I started noticing that this show was not as good as it used to be. I recently got into Game of Thrones. I actually never planned on watching it, but then my friend told me that he liked it a whole lot, so I started watching it in like May. So yeah, it hasn't been that long, but I'm planning on reading the books, but I basically know what happens in the books because I couldn't help myself, to be honest. I watch a lot of Preston Jacobs, so I don't know exactly what happens in parts of the books, but I know a lot of what happens, more than almost any show watcher who just watches the shows. So yeah, but yeah, Arya's plot was not good, and that was, like I said, that was the episode where I left the episode just feeling like really disheartened. It was sad. I watched all 5 seasons, and I was like, yeah, season 5, not that good, but I was still kind of clouded by that excitement coming off of the first couple of seasons. And how good the storytelling is. Like, David and Dan couldn't fuck up the Red Wedding. What did I? The Red Wedding. They couldn't have fucked that up. Because it's just so good. One thing that really disappoints me is that they never brought in Stoneheart, which is, like I said, I haven't read the books, but I know she's a great character in the books. And I mean, not bringing in Stoneheart has made Jaime and Brienne's plots pretty pointless and dumb too. And I really was hoping that they were going to bring her back in the last episodes of season 6, but I wasn't super hopeful. But I was like praying to David and Dan. I was like, just come on, guys, just bring back Stoneheart. It would have been good. Or also Nymeria. We haven't seen anything about her. It seems like they've cut that out too. And yeah, season 5 and 6, Arya's plot has not been very good. She hasn't really done anything. When she finally started doing things, like going to see the play, I thought that was pretty good. The first couple of episodes of her stuff in Bravos this season I thought was not terrible. But then it just all fell apart when she got stabbed in the stomach like 5 times and then fell into shitty sewer water. And they say Bravos is one of the really higher up, more like technologically advanced cities in the world of Ice and Fire. It's one of the ones that are up there. But still, I don't think that was clean water. That was definitely some dirty water, and it just got all up in her cuts, and she got stabbed. Oh man, it just doesn't make sense. It ended with her getting stabbed and jumping into the water and crawling away, which is just so dumb. I mean, everybody thought she's got to be wearing a pig skin, right? Just the normal fans who just watched the show was like, yeah, she's wearing a pig skin, or maybe she's, what else was it? Oh, maybe the waif isn't real, and she didn't actually stab herself, or there were a couple other ones that all were better than what the show did. But instead, Arya goes to the person who she was gonna kill but ended up not killing. She goes to her. I don't remember what her name is. She's the actress, and she's like, yep, I know how to bandage people. That was good, and that made enough sense, but it just, it fell apart even more after that when the waif came in and killed her, and then Arya jumped out of the window and fell a story down, just landed down and started just booking it, and she shows herself being in pain, but come on. People were like, yeah, look, she's in pain. She's in pain. But she got stabbed more than once in her stomach, in her torso area, in her abdomen, I should say. Because they might have hit her stomach. I don't know. They don't really elaborate on it or at all where she got stabbed, or if it could be fatal or not. They kind of just breeze past it. And then she's doing parkour, and it's ridiculous. And the actor who played the waif, for the most part, did a fine job. She was nothing too spectacular, of course. I don't think the waif is an amazing character, so I don't think she could have ever been so great, unless David and Dan were better writers, and they ended up actually, if they could have written her better than George wrote her, just giving her more of a thing. But, that's not really something I don't think anybody would have planned to do anyway. But yeah, she did a fine job as the waif, but then she did that Terminator run, and I thought it was basically cringeworthy. I was like, why is she doing this? Is she like, I'm gonna make an Easter egg to the fans and do an Easter egg. Maybe the fans will get the reference. Well, that's just dumb to me. And I don't like the way she did that, like she was some kind of machine how the House in Black and White, they don't have any emotion, so they're now like machines. I just thought that it was sort of dumb. And then Arya falls down a flight of stairs, which is even more ridiculous. How she gets up and goes to her hidey hole and then kills her. And then she goes to the back to the House of Black and White. She gives them the face of the waif. And then Jaqen H'ghar's like, a girl is no one. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Everything that Arya did was from her emotion. And she was like, I'm a Stark, blah blah blah. And then she went and killed Walder, which is cool, I guess. She must have fucked Bronn. That's what I was thinking. I was saying she must have fucked Bronn because she was the girl who, yeah, she was hiding as that one girl, unless she took her face after they fucked. That might have happened. I don't know. But then she killed Walder Frey, and I thought it was okay, but I don't really want to see Arya be a weird sociopath. How she thought it was amazing. She was really happy. She was probably getting off a little bit about killing Walder, which, I don't know. Maybe that would be, I mean, I'm sure that would be satisfactory after somebody killed your whole family, but I don't know. I just felt it was a little bit weird. Another thing is, like, with Sansa, she's turning just like that too. She did the same thing with Ramsay. And basically, honestly, what's happening, and this might not even be Dan and Dave's, or whatever their names are, this might not even be their fault, but the whole story is kind of turning into, like, all these girls leading, like, it's super feminist. And I say it's not their fault because it might be George's fault because he said he's a feminist, and I don't have a problem with it, but I just think it's a little weird how all these girls are going to end up being the main people fighting. Except for Jon. I guess they kind of made him King of the North, but yeah, I don't know. Even though Jon sort of shouldn't have been declared King of the North. One big problem I have is that almost everybody who watches the show has said that Season 6 was a big step up from Season 5. But it's like they forget about Episode 1, how boring it was, and, like, useless. Like, it could have been a 15-minute scene, and they made it last the whole episode. Maybe just a little bit. They switched somewhere. I don't remember a whole lot about Episode 1, which just proves that it wasn't a great episode. Episode 5 of Season 6 was pretty good. Hold the Door. I'm pretty sure they said that it was George's. George was the one who wrote that, or who was the one who came up with that. But it was good. I mean, actually, I didn't have much of a problem with that, except a lot of book readers think that Bloodraven and the Children of the Forest had an alternate motive for Bran, but they just kind of risked themselves for Bran, which is just weird. Because if you read the books, or if you know anything about the books, Bloodraven is not necessarily like a Jesus character. Like, he was thrown out of the kingdom because I think he was a supporter of the Blackfires or something, but he's done a lot of things in his favor. And he's basically controlled a lot of people, or at least that's what the evidence of the text suggests. And it also suggested that the Children of the Forest were not all they were chalked up to be, and that they were relatively bitter towards men. So why would they be helping Bloodraven? Why would they be helping Bran? They're just guys. I mean, they're both men. That is to say that they're helping the kingdom, but they're not really doing anything for the Children of the Forest. I mean, if they're trying to get the White Walkers, yes, but they're also, I don't know. They're also it just seems a little weird, the whole thing. I don't necessarily think I need to go into it that much, but going on past episode 5, most people thought the last 2 episodes were amazing and spectacular, and the Battle of the Bastards was pretty good. And so was the last episode. I liked how Tommen's suicide was done and how they decided to make Tommen kill himself, and I sort of like the Cersei stuff, but I don't know, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense why they're just like, alright, she's queen. I mean, there are people that survived. I mean, not every important political person was in the Sept, though a lot of them were. And I'm pretty sad to see Mace Tyrell die, because he was probably one of the nicest people. He wasn't particularly a genius, but he wasn't a bad person, and he died in there. But of course, Cersei's a villain. I mean, she's a villain, so it makes sense. It was nice to see the High Sparrow die, I guess, and him realize what was wrong. Oh God. I think the person I'm saddest to see go is Marjorie. I think the actress, I think she's pretty good. I think she's a pretty good actress. All the actors are really good. I mean, the person who plays Cersei, Lena Headey, I'm forgetting a lot of people's names right now, but yeah, Lena Headey's great. The girl who played Marjorie is great. Richard Pryor, or what's his name that does the High Sparrow, he was good. This video's getting kind of long, so I think I might just finish it up in a part 2. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, go ahead and look for it. Expect it soon.